So last session, you made some new friends with a group from Team Meadowlark, who were a group of 4 crawlers who were attempting to ferry some really elderly care home residents through the crawl, who were in various states of disarray and certainly didn't seem to all have their mental faculties. Fokionis in particular made a brand new friend, with one of the residents in particular taking a shine to him. The safe room that they were in turned out to be a waffle house, which led to Alia asking for and receiving a stack of waffles covered with maple syrup, and the invention of the rather unique Team Chaos handshake as she licked Brendan of Team Meadowlark's hand, as opposed to shaking it, which was then repeated by Zach and Fokionis, with Ivy resisting temptation and deciding to be the mature one and just shaking his hand, deciding against at this stage licking it. While you were waiting impatiently for the timer to tick down for Dungeon 2, and there were sword fights happening in the corner, and you got to know Mort a little bit better, you were then confronted and watched horrified as the first episode of the fall season Earth aired. And apart from Ivy, who centered herself and was able to deal with the horror that unfolded as you watched a highlight reel of over 3 million crawlers fail on the first dungeon, with some small successes along the way and catching a brief glimpse of Shay Bouquet with a glowing rat-filled arrow skewered in his stomach. You, aside from Ivy, had varying degrees of horror and impact from what you saw and how disturbed you felt from it. And as an outcome of that, Fokionis and Zach and Alia, until I tell you otherwise, as you've entered into the second dungeon, just as a welcome back to you all, you will be rolling with disadvantage on intelligence and wisdom as a result of the trauma that you suffered in watching everything that unfolded, and for Alia, the just trying to comprehend all of these new feelings that are coming from what you normally dismiss as a raccoon, with the personification and humanization that you've experienced. There's all these new experiences that you're struggling to process and deal with. Each of you, before you entered the dungeon, with some nudging from Mort, revisited the bathroom or just visited the bathroom for either your first or your second and last look at the map that he was able to provide you. And you reminded yourselves not to make it obvious that you had access to the information that was on that map. Alia, you made your first trip to the bathroom and you placed a maple syrup print next to everybody else's name to indicate that you were there. So where we're starting tonight, we pick up with Team Chaos having stepped through the portal into darkness, to varying degrees of what you can actually see. Some of you do have dark vision. But what you notice first is that no familiar information dump accompanied your movement as you stepped through. You just simply stepped through and you were there. Those of you with dark vision can make things out in shades of grey. However, you sense that something is stopping your vision reaching its full potential, where you possibly should have been able to see dark vision 60 feet. Your vision is half of that. For those of you who are without dark vision, and 2 of you, one lit up a saber and the other lit up a torch. So currently, Zach is holding his lit saber aloft, and Alia her torch burning, where it would normally give you 10 to 20 feet of light, so 10 bright and 20 dim and flickering. You can only see essentially around yourselves, well lit, so for 5 feet, and then there's a dimmer circle of light around you out to 10 feet. From
Jeez.
where you stand, Fokionis and Ivy, so I've placed you in the order that you walked through the portal. And we can deal with where you're currently standing once we get the scene setting out of the way. But the 2 of you, and with your vision, and Ivy especially with your perception, you notice that within your line of sight there's what appears to be some huge round mirrors or looking glasses of some kind that are within that 30 feet of you that you can see. 2 appear to be on the walls, and 1 appears to be freestanding in the middle of an open space. Ivy, you can only see Fokionis, your angle lets you see 3. Ivy, at the moment, you can only see 2 of those. So the bottom mirror and the center mirror. The walls themselves, you can all see this either lit or with your dark vision, appear to be rough hewn. They're well fitted, neatly fitted together, very much of like an Incan style, where there's no mortar that's clear to be seen, but the stones fit with almost military precision, and you'd be struggling to fit your sword blade in them. But they are rough hewn. They are not bricks and mortars of a building that you were potentially used to seeing in the real world. Zach, you can't see too much from where you are there, other than really the people around you, the walls, the flooring being quite a smooth slate tile. There's not a lot else that you can see from just where you are at the moment. And Alia, where you are, you notice that the stonework next to you has a faint whiff of timber and grease, and the bricks don't appear, the stone doesn't appear to fit quite as well as right next to you as some of the other sections. Um, and one more thing for you, Alia, that this dungeon feels different to the other one you're in. And something tells you that due to the weighty presence of earth you can feel above you, you realize that you're in a deep dungeon, one that is part of what you are vaguely familiar is called the Underdark. So do with that information, refamiliarize yourself with what that means to your character. You took that as your preferred terrain, as a quick reminder. Yep. So with Alia and Fokionis entering first, and then Ivy and Zach coming close behind, you've seen the map either once or twice, so you have at least some awareness of what's. We'll deal with that as things unfold, but of what's around in some sort of floor plan of this dungeon. You definitely saw that there were some traps, a lot of traps on that map. What would you like to do?
Does anyone have a bedroll? I'm just saying, look, it hasn't steered us wrong before, so you know.
Okay, yeah, I got a bedroll.
Yeah, baby. And I think we should utilize that bedroll as we progress forward.
Oh, like Rick did.
Yes.
No. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
So we can see
I
what.
don't think I've used this bedroll for sleeping in yet. So.
No, Mort's establishment seems to have steered us right for sleeping.
Yeah, we've got to find it in this level before.
Yes, I'm working.
Then if you destroy my bedroll, I'll be like just sleeping on the.
I'll tell you what, bro. If I destroy your bedroll, I'll let you be the little spoon.
Sounds good, mate.
I really need to pay more attention to my features and traits.
There's an early contender for title. I'll let you be the little spoon.
So I can see. I can't see very much in here. Can you with your?
I can see a little bit. I can see
a little bit.
I can see that there are a couple of mirrors. There's one like sort of directly in front of us.
Oh, you can see way further than me.
So you can essentially see everything up into that mirror with your 30 feet of dark vision. The rest is obscured where you normally should be able to see further, but there's something about this darkness that
so
is
you'd say
quite
20
oppressive.
feet, 30 feet? Is that how far
30
we can
feet.
see?
Yeah, because you're normally 60, so I believe so you see 30, which is the mirror.
Yeah.
Can see mirrors?
That's a mirror-looking glass.
A glass type thing. I assume it's a mirror because I see a handsome-looking fellow looking straight back at me in it.
Maybe you should see it's got some writing on it, and you could go
and say it backwards. Yeah, that'd be good. No, thank you. Wrong story, wrong character.
And Racer, I did hear what you said, and yes, you have a lot of stuff tucked away in your character that.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm just noticing like I have like extra attack points and some other things that I can sense enemies in my preferred terrain.
Yep, so, you familiarize yourself away while these boys have the discussion about a bedroll.
I also have a 2 bonus attack for rolls that I make with ranged weapons, which I just learned about. So that's great.
That is good. All right, so we're going to move. We're going to stand in the doorway. What are we thinking?
You're going to throw my bedroll in.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a little spin.
I'm going to press my hand up against the wall next to me.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, while you guys are sorting out the bedroll, because Alia's actually taken some action. Alia, Can I get you, please, to do... I need you to do an intelligence check first. Now, that would normally be at advantage being the Underdark, but because of your trauma that you suffered from watching the deaths on TV before you step through, it's just going to be a straight roll for you.
That's a 9.
9. You having a look around, and a poke with the torch, you're finding a bit difficult. You can definitely smell that something's not quite right here. With your 9, you vaguely remember that there, somewhere around where you were, there was definitely something on the map, like a tunnel or a room. There was something nearby, and from what you remember, there should be a door, but there's clearly not one. You only had one look at the map, so that's why you're not getting any extra bonuses on your intelligence roll. So you're pushing around, but at the moment, you know there's something there, but you cannot find your way to where the weak spot, or where the hidden door, or where your way through is. You just know that it's there somewhere. You're pretty close.
Can I let the team know?
Feel free.
Hey team, something feels funky about this wall.
What? That wall? What makes you think that?
Raccoon intuition?
Well, I don't know much about raccoons, but that seems trustworthy. Can I have a look at the wall as well?
Sure.
Before you move over, did you guys make a decision? You've handed over your bedroll to Fokionis, so currently he has your
yeah.
bedroll. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to move Alia forward slightly so that we can get
You can swap us around.
Sure.
Technically, I can
Should've
move
asked
within
that.
his space as a smaller animal.
Okay. Good to know. All right.
Wait,
You will
so-
be doing an intelligence roll with disadvantage.
Is it just straight?
Well, no, sorry.
intelligence or
For you, you're
investigation?
trying to find it. So, yeah, do an investigation. Or actually, yes,
Is it
investigation.
still disadvantage though?
Yes.
Alright.
Because it's in your perception will be the same at the moment until further notice.
4.
What did you roll?
I
Oh
rolled
my
a
god, we're as
16
dumb
and a
as each
4.
other.
So I got 4.
Okay.
So
The 2 team members who cannot see in the dark, poking around with now a saber and a torch. You're same as Ala. You don't quite notice the smells as well as she did, but you remember roughly as well that you feel like you're closing in on where that there's something here, but where you were poking, you're even further away from anything useful than what Alia was with your 4. You know it's pretty close. You think the raccoon might be a bit full of shit with where she thinks it is, but you're even further off the mark at the moment, poking at the rocks with your
just
sword.
get my one dap Revelio.
Yeah. Yes.
And nothing
Someone
happens.
said that at work
No.
today. I started walking around going Revelio.
Oh dear. All right, Fokionis, and then we'll go to Ivy and what you are.
I'm going to
doing.
roll someone else's bed roll out directly in front, maybe on, I don't know if you can see that on mine, towards that
Yeah, I can see you moving.
area.
You have more than enough strength to have it
Yeet.
make it to that mirror, but are you specifically trying to get it to roll along that pathway?
Yeah, not any specific pathway as such, but just in a forward motion area on a logical pathway that we might walk. And I'm not trying to knock the mirror over or anything. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going to step on
No
no
worries. I'm just to see what basically bonuses you might get out of this. Can you do a dexterity roll for me, please? I forget
At disadvantage.
No, your disadvantage is on wisdom and intelligence. Your
I've got none of that
dexterity is
anyway,
just a
that's all
straight,
good.
or if you have advantage for some particular reason, do it with advantage.
No. So just rolling.
It'll be your acrobatics.
So
Is
a
the
dex, not a dex saving throw. That's just a regular dex
No.
roll. Yeah.
yeah
Regular dex.
acrobatics is the
Oh, okay, cool.
the-
Yeah, got it.
the one to click on.
Got him.
Athletics.
Sorry, I was trying to
16.
remember it. What did you get? Sorry.
How did you do that
16.
investigation check with disadvantage?
Right. Click on it.
Right click on it. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've just learned something new as well.
Me
So
too.
with the bedroll,
Can
because
I take
I've
my
been doing
turn
those
again?
things with the dice. Can you do what? Sorry.
I said, can I take my turn again?
We've
Because you
only
didn't have
been
disadvantage,
using
you just had a
D&D
straight
Beyond for a
roll.
year.
Well, I didn't know you could do that.
So
Neither did I.
Pocahontas, you roll that bedroll out, and like all of those years of lawn bowls kick into practice. It's just a beautiful roll of the bedroll. It slight curvature to the left. It comes to a rest up against the mirror, and absolutely nothing happens. It just sits there.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna
Rolls
let
in
me
and
flying up
that
pressure.
pathway, no problem at all.
I can walk that path. Right, group, do I walk that path out in front, or are we still trying to feel up this wall?
It's
Oh, we're straight up feeling up this wall.
Okay, for you, you stonophiles there, I'll just wait here.
All right, so Pocahontas is chilling
Uh,
out. What rolling his
I want-
bedroll? Ivy.
I'm a
Yeah,
bit
before we get
nervous to go out there because I can't see as far as you can. Like I don't know, like that bedroll's just gone to me. I don't know where it went.
It's out there.
I can't see it. I got this light thing. Maybe I should have cast light on the bedroll then.
That would have been a good idea.
Yeah. God.
Damn good idea.
Disadvantage on intelligence.
Dumb as each other.
That was
We
very
proved that
funny.
earlier.
Oh.
We proved that at the
All
cheese
right.
shop.
So Ivy, you've still got Rathu, who is a little bit squirming in your
Rathu.
arms, but he's alert and attentive. He doesn't seem too bothered by the darkness, but he's certainly a bit more alert and aware than what he was with all of his sleeping he has been doing after the extremely restful bath that he took, thanks to you and your animal handling. And Grebo is still, every now and then you'll see him weaving in and out of the darkness. It's clear that he accompanied you guys down into this dungeon to see what's happening. But Ivy, what would you like to do? You've just seen, with your clear vision, like you've got the dark vision, so you've seen Alia and Zachary just fucking around with this wall. You've heard what they were talking about. They're not achieving anything constructive that you can see. In fact, Zachary looks like he's actually poking his sword into a brick, not even into a gap in a brick. Pocahontas has taken the bedroll, as you heard, and he's rolled it straight ahead of you and he, and that bedroll is just beautifully rolled along the floor and come to a stop. What would you like to do?
First off, did you guys ask the wall for its consent to touch it and stab it? Because it's very important before you stab anything with your sword or dagger that you ask consent.
Hey, I was just touching it with my hand and a torch. I didn't touch it with no sword.
Second of
I'm
all,
sorry, I didn't think about that.
Well, we're both
It
as dumb
didn't-
as each other.
it
What do you
didn't-
expect?
Didn't say no, so I just assumed.
I didn't say no. Oh god.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Zach's the only one without dark vision in our little party, and like figure out a way past that. But I feel like after that comment, Mr. Zachary, you can deal with the dark on your own. And with that comment, I would like
You get dressed in the dark?
to stride into the room.
Striding into the room. All right. As you're heading off, leaving Zachary behind. So this is just for your awareness, Ivy, and with your passive perception. Even with disadvantage of, actually, you didn't receive the disadvantage. Definitely with your passive perception and having shrugged off the effects of just how traumatizing that viewing was that you saw, you can actually clearly see where where the others were just poking and fumbling around, it's really obvious to you that there is a central like keystone stone that is in that wall that if pushed upon, it was on the map. There was a doorway there. You can clearly see how that tunnel needs to open up as you're striding into the rest of the room. So you're aware of how to actually access the chamber that they're fumbling around with.
Rude.
And how far are you looking to go up to the central mirror, to one of the side ones? Yep, I see where you're pinging. Yep. So you're striding confidently into the room. Yeah, you can see everything in those shades of grey. Where you've stopped, there's no problem with it. You don't feel anything untoward, no loose stones or wires or anything underneath your feet. It's plain sailing behind where the bedroll traveled, and getting to where you are there, the angle you can see on with your height, you can actually see that there is where are you? Oh, that's going to be just the edge of your vision. You can see that around that central mirror that is very clear lit now to you. It is a mirror. There are 4 holes in the ground, and it appears that mirror has also been inserted with some kind of apparently metal rod into a hole of its own. So it is fixed in place. The central one, and you can see that there are 4 holes around it as well. So like a rectangle around the mirror itself. And you've now got clear vision of the other 2 mirrors to your above and below you, up against on the walls.
Who's ready for a puzzle? It's safe to walk in the room, by the way, guys. You can stop caressing the wall and its bricks.
So
But
for Zach and Ali, you just saw Ivy disappear into inky blackness. Within 2 steps, she was outside of the dim range of your lighting. Whereas Fokionis, you've just seen her, just walk along behind your bedroll, and she's just chilling out, looking around the room. But for the other 2 of you, her voice just comes out of the darkness.
Okay, I like slowly step out, but like as I watch the wall disappear behind me, I get pretty nervous.
Are you're stepping straight ahead, or are you going
Yeah.
up and following? All right.
I followed Ivy.
Okay, so you definitely did see that Ivy went up and then across. So yep, you can do that. And where would you like to go to?
I'll go to. Just next to Ivy.
Alright.
It's too dark for
behind
him
her?
to see right. Can I scare him as he comes up behind me?
Ooh, jump scare.
He will see you as like a flickering silhouette at the 10-foot mark.
Can I actively try to hide myself and scare him as he walks into the room, though?
You absolutely can. Give me give me a stealth check. And you'll just do that as a straight roll.
Yeah, and I get perception at disadvantage.
Yes. You can roll that at the same time if you want.
Do you want me to roll that, or do you want to use my passive one, which would be 5?
Oh, actually, you don't know what you're looking for. Yeah, go with the passive.
Right.
There's no reason for you to be expecting this.
You said stealth, didn't you?
Yep.
Time for disadvantage.
Heavy armor.
Yeah. It's 14 though.
Holy shit.
Clearly
How would you like to scare
Clearly.
Zach?
I love it.
Do you
Oh,
have
you know
something
how
in
I have a
mind?
rat?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a rat thrown at your face or like leap off of anything? They
run
throw
past
their
your leg.
They throw them out wide, and they grip onto the first thing they feel.
What's Rathie's opinion on hand licking?
I won't throw him, but I will gently try and come up behind and lightly drop Rathu onto his shoulder.
Yep.
And whisper in his ear, "The rats are coming."
Well, first off, you can give yourself a point of inspiration because that is brilliant. Secondly, Zachary, as you're tentatively stepping through, Ivy went down this way. You're just sort of, waving that saber into the darkness, trying to get some sort of glimpse. You think you sort of see where she is, so you head towards the direction that she went, and where you can see some sort of shadow. Then out of nowhere, you just feel these large, than you expected claws gripping into your shoulder and neck, and the whispered voice of Ivy in your ear. What do you do?
You don't squeal like a little schoolgirl.
Ah, shit! Start like flailing around. Trying to get whatever's grabbed me because I wouldn't realize what it is. Just try to get it,
Yep.
like flick it off
Yep.
as hard as I can.
That I need you to make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Oh god, no! Don't attack
Attack
Rathy.
Can I
roll.
quickly pick Rathu back up? Because I mean, I can see everything.
Necromad.
I want to see what he rolls for attack, and then I'll figure out what I want you to roll to
Just
see
like
if you can
unarmed
get.
or with my rapier. I think.
This is unarmed. This is
Oh,
unarmed. You're not trying
I
to.
feel like
You're
I'm
trying
not
to hit
trying
it. You said you're trying to hit it off
Yeah,
and get it off
yeah.
you as hard as you can. So unarmed,
Right.
and you're in darkness, flailing, so with disadvantage.
2. That's a natural one.
Our rolls are on fire tonight.
And I
Disadvantage,
was going to get you to roll an animal handling, but you got a +5 on that, Ivy. So I'm going to say that yes, you seeing where Zach is about to swipe at Rathu vigorously to get him off his shoulder and potentially harm him with his big 7 health. You definitely pick him up and snuggle him back into your shoulder, but you've got him back safely. I am going to get you to do an animal handling check because you just gave Rathu quite a scare, taking him out of his comfort zone and putting him on Zachary's shoulder. As funny as that was.
Zachary doesn't think it's funny.
Give me a second. I'm not dumb. It's just math. 23.
Says that all the time.
23. Quickly and expertly pulling out some of the cheese and burgers and things that Mort had out for you guys, which you've got in plentiful supply. You quickly calm Rathu down. Like, one of his base needs that he needs is to eat, and rats are renowned scavengers, so he's quickly quite content and snuggle back in, munching away upside down, otter style, with a Mort burger in 2 hands, and chomping, because he's a big rat, chomping away comfortably, and looking attentively around the rest of the room.
Mort burger. I want to see the ads for that commercial.
And Zachary, you still don't really know exactly what happened. You can make some assumptions, but all you know is you felt this thing, you were flailing, and then it was quickly removed. And you can dimly see now Ivy in front of you, innocently feeding Rathu a burger.
I just like move towards the closest wall I can see and just keep my back to it.
Yep. That takes you up to, you can actually see now what they were talking about, and you've got one of these giant mirrors that is, around. You can reach either side of it if you had your arms outstretched. So it's roughly 6 foot across at its widest point, and you can see the big, slightly concave glass now that the dark vision people were talking about. Because you're right beside it with your back up against the
Hey
wall,
guys, it's a mirror.
warding off the darkness.
We was looking at him and go like, yeah, man, we know.
God damn it.
All right. Alia, you're still back over
Heal
up
yourself off
against the wall, smelling you definitely know that there's you were close. There's something there. You're just not 100% sure what it was.
Do I ignore it or be persistent?
I don't know.
Bucket, I'm gonna be persistent. I want what's behind this door, wall, whatever it is.
All right. So what's your plan of attack this time around? So you were sniffing around before. How would you like to tackle this?
I thought I was feeling before, not sniffing.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Feeling around. So that's right. You were too with your torch. How would you like to tackle this second time around?
I'm thinking. I don't know. Obviously,
while you're-
touch and
yep.
smell aren't working.
Then you could lick it all.
Would you like to lick the wall? It seems on brand.
What? Why not? Nothing else has
Alright.
worked.
Yeah, you do.
Again, this will be. I'll give it to you with your perception, because you're using a sense very vigorously, and it's a straight roll. So give me a perception roll.
That's so good.
Got a 19.
With
So
that,
happy.
with two hands pressed up against the brickwork and just giving it, trying to use your tongue to find any loose in the grooves, anywhere that it can find traction that highlights to you that you know that there's something around here, because the one trip you made to the bathroom, you can definitely remember that there was something here. You just don't remember quite what, because you only went through once and you didn't pay heaps of attention to it. But after giving that wall a hell of a tongue lashing, by pure accident, you find a stone that has a slightly deeper groove than the others, and pushing forward with both hands and your nose and your tongue, that central stone pops. And when it does, the entire section of the wall, about 5 feet across, collapses inward. So the whole thing just sprays through, to leave essentially a scattering of gravel and rubble inwards into what you can see is just a gap, because there's only blackness behind it. Phocyonis, you can actually see that straight down. Let me see how far away you are. Yeah, you can just see it. So there is at the very end of that that corridor, dim. You can only just make it out, but there seems to be a soft red glow emanating, as if from a brightly lit red button.
Oh my god, she licked the wall open. That's crazy. You know what? I can see a button down there. It looks red. I wonder if we should push him. What do you think?
Push it. Push it.
I don't know if I want to push it, but fuck, I want someone to push it.
Take me down there. I'll push it. I'll push a red button.
Fuck, you push buttons all the time, so that's fair. Let's do it.
Bet.
Guys, we're gonna go push this red button, see what happens. You want to come with? You want to stay there and maybe get fucked up?
What red
I don't know. What do you think? Oh, you can't see anyway. You're fucking jumping at shadows, bro. Oh, you can't even see them either. You're just jumping at nothing.
Except Phocyonis, you did see the whole thing unfold, including Ivy sneaking behind Zach and putting Rathu on his shoulder. You bore witness to that entire
Yeah, but I
event.
don't want to spoil the joke, you know. Okay, let's go push this button. We're gonna push the button unless anyone says a good reason not to.
So who's stepping through first? Is Alia stepping through first, or is Phocyonis stepping through first?
Oh yeah.
Because at the moment, Alia, all you can
Let's
see is a
go.
doorway, and Phocyonis is looking over your shoulder and describing what he can see.
Just pick her up under one arm and go, let's go.
All right.
That'll work too.
Yeah, you can definitely do that with her. So you've stepped in. Now,
Please
Fokionis,
tell me that the door will be closed behind us.
having looked at the map twice, can I get you please to give me to give me an intelligence check? So this is a
Oh my
straight
god,
roll for
please don't
you.
be dumb.
You did a straight roll for you. It'll be a no, I just want a straight intelligence. It's not investigation. It's seeing what you remember.
For me,
Yeah. So Fokionis just a straight intelligence.
this would be a shit roll
roll.
because I'm dumb as bloody. You know what?
This is- it would have been with
Right.
disadvantage, but because you looked at the map twice, you just get a
All
straight
right,
roll.
so just a straight
Straight
investigation.
intelligence. No, just a
Intelligence,
straight
not a,
intelligence. I
not a
just want a
saving
straight
throw.
intelligence roll, not a saving throw. Just hit
So just
intelligence and make it roll. If you're doing it on
13.
D&D Beyond.
Yeah, 13.
Oh, dude, that
Please
is
tell me.
literally what you need.
Oh,
dude,
yes.
So,
My god.
oh my
as
god,
you
man.
step
I'm
through,
fucking scared of that map for so long.
as you step through, before you take a second step into the room with Alia underneath one arm, you remember that it all comes flooding back to you somewhat, that in this corridor, there were 3 separate arrow traps marked on Mort's map. This is the corridor that is right next to where you've started off on his map. It was on the left-hand side, and where you can see the open room, there was no mistaking that this is that corridor. So you remember that he had written down, please make sure it's not obvious that you know this stuff is here. But there were 3 on his map, there were 3 arrow traps in this corridor.
Got you.
And you remember there with I'll give it to you with your 13, that they seem to be at 5-foot intervals, and you think you are pretty close to the first one.
Right. I might go, actually, you know what? Could be good because we don't know if there's no boobies traps here. Maybe we get that bedroll and yeet that shit down here. And then that way, if there is boobies traps, we can trigger them, you know?
Well, you can
Unless you want to
stay on
cough up
there,
some other
out
crap
there.
from your bag. I know you've got waffles and shit.
Have some
Bedroll it
trash.
is then.
You can have some trash.
Trash? Let's
I
do
just
it.
want to push the button.
Oh, it's just like my job back at home on Earth, where I throw trash out the door. But that's normally at 5 p.m. when I tell them to fuck off and go home.
Oh, 5 a.m.
Alright, I'm gonna hand over some trash.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
going to throw that trash.
Let's say to make it
Interesting.
where are you trying to throw it to?
I'm just
Like,
trying
are you
to.
throwing it to where you roughly think?
Well, no, that'd be
Um,
obvious. I'm just throwing it sort of, you know, a couple bits here, and then one where I think there is a trap, and then a couple bits over there.
all right. So each
You know,
one of
there's lots of trash
the
in that bag,
lumps
I'm
that
sure.
Ali is going to get, yeah, she's got like 60 pounds or something of it. Each one of the lumps
Exactly.
I
is going
got
to
like
be about
120 pounds. I'm gonna
Okay,
hand
fuck
you
off.
Pick it
What's
back
that
up.
much? So each one of
60.
the trash bombs that she has made previously have weighed in at around 5 pounds. So you're getting about 5 pounds of it at a time to start throwing. So can you give me some markers as you're essentially throwing shit all over the down the corridor? So yeah, just give me some pings
Can do that.
as you're
Let's
throwing.
go one sort of here, and then one over here, then one over sort of this way,
Mhm.
and then we'll go for the one that's like obviously at that thing that we don't know is there.
All right. So the first one that you throw, it hits the side wall with a meaty thwack, and as soon as it does, there is just an eruption of arrows from
Holy
across the
shit,
way.
bro!
So it is essentially a wall of arrows that shoot out. They fill that entire 5-foot section of the corridor and just splinter and shred and shatter across on the wall opposite. Some of the splinters just barely miss hitting you and Alia under your arm.
Holy
That was
shit! The
with the
God of
first throw
Artemis
that
is
you
in
did.
the room. What's going on?
So where
That was
did
the most entertaining thing I've ever seen.
I think your trash just got fucked up.
It's okay. Do you want some more?
But on the upside, maybe you get some arrows now.
They're broken. I don't have
But
the
trash
tips.
is
That's
trash.
trash.
Come on, it could be fun.
So are you moving towards that pile of
We might sort of move to
splintered-
about like. Can I move myself? No, of course not. Why would I be able to do that? Maybe one forward? Yes. Yes.
I haven't changed any of the settings, so the last update must have undone what it had done previously. You should be able to move yourselves. Yep.
Undone
So,
it previously
Alia,
undone.
did you want to pick any of this up? Oh, Ivy's coming back over.
Sure, why not?
All right. So, in the dim light,
To be honest, that
I
doesn't
will-
have to tell me twice.
I will give you like leaning down from underneath his armpit because of the limited space that's there, and with the the light of your torch,
Open it up.
you're almost setting fire to the kindling of the arrows. But you are able to retrieve 5 usable arrows out of the shattered remains. There's not much else to salvage. It's like they just exploded essentially. Excuse me. Without a dustpan and brush, you're not going to get anything more usable out of that.
Okay, so holy shit, I'm glad we did that. Obviously, there's lots of booby traps in this hallway.
Need more trash.
No,
you
just
sure?
one. That's it.
So
There can't be any more.
Ivy and Zach,
The
you have
one
heard
trap
just
corridor.
part of this conversation through the corridor, and then you've just this ungodly shattering of timber on stone, immediately followed by the conversation of digging through the remnants. But neither of you can see any of this happening. You can just hear it echoing back towards you.
Are they all right?
I mean, I'd assume so.
That's
Actually, we
bold of you
just-
to assume.
Should
They're
we just...
talking, so
Alright, let's just leave and keep exploring this room.
You
All
just
right,
want to
well,
stay there and hold up against that mirror, don't
We'll
you?
come
Jet?
back to
Yeah,
the corridor explorers. So you guys figure out what your next couple of
I
moves
can move
are.
along the wall.
don't you have like a light spell?
Can you cast that?
I think that was asked of you, Zach, from Ivy.
I think you're muted.
Hi.
Oh, he's back. Zach was just a bit frozen with fear in the
Sorry.
darkness.
Yeah, I cast it. It's on my rapier. It's lit up, but it normally goes like 40 feet. But in here, it's only going 10 feet for some reason. It's
Sorry, it'd be 10, 20. Apologies, Zach, if I wrote that down
Mm.
wrong. So it's essentially half of what it normally would be.
Oh.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's not as effective in here. There's like some kind of mysterious force not making it not work as well, or I just got worse at casting this spell.
Can we even get worse at casting spells in
I-
here?
I don't know. It's like my first, like, third day casting spells, so I don't know how.
Bro, weren't you a famous magician casting spells all the time? Or you just casting aspersions?
Yeah, they were real spells. Sorry.
Pocahontas and
Sorry.
Zachary are yelling at each other across the
Sorry, but
the
yeah,
darkness.
that's real magic I was doing then too. So
All right. Team in the open, what would you guys like to do?
yeah, just keep scouting the room, like moving cautiously.
Keep checking out that bit of wall there.
All right. So are you looking to investigate to pay particular attention to anything specifically? Or
I'm looking closely at the wall.
all right. So I'll give you that the mirror is right next to you on the wall. So
I don't know,
I'm
does the
going
mirror like move, or is it?
Well, that's what you're
to,
investigating.
can you exactly
Yeah.
what you're about
Yeah.
to do. Can you do an
that.
investigation check of the mirror,
Investigation.
please, with
Is it
disadvantage?
disadvantage? Okay.
Yeah. So holding your rapier up, and you seem to
One
get a little bit more
income.
of a glow.
3.
It's definitely a mirror. It's a little bit confronting to see yourself and how haggard you look with everything you've been through in such a short period
If
of
he
time.
doesn't give himself a jump scare from that.
There does seem to be a little bit more of a glow in the room. Well, you can see just a little bit more. The mirror seems to be amplifying the light a little, but nothing major. And you do appreciate just how very fine your hat looks.
Oh.
So he looks in the mirror and goes, "How you doing?"
You don't see anything else of note. It depends. How far along would you like to walk? Because the mirror was an item that definitely stood out and that you paid close attention to.
I'll just go at half speed, 15 feet.
Okay.
That ambience noise is actually really annoying.
I thought I had it turned off. I'm sorry.
I've got it turned off.
I don't know.
You might need to turn it off yourself in the map because I'm pretty sure I've got it off.
I think you do.
So coming around 15 feet, you there's a bit of a pile of rubble here. That's a bit strange. Like everything else is so neat with the walls. You can't really tell with the dim glow of your rapier and the 3 you investigated with. Anything more than it either could be incomplete, it could be some damage, it could have been a collapse. But the rubble seems to be the same as the wall, but it's just in a pile as opposed to being neatly formed. It's still blocking off. Like you can't get out of the dungeon via it. It's just an ugly, messy section as opposed to neat and ordered.
Why would that be there? Isn't this dungeon created literally 5 minutes ago? How would this happen?
Aesthetic value.
Aesthetic rubble, you reckon? Yeah, I get that.
I mean, obviously, it's putting us in a dungeon. It's gotta feel dungeon-y.
I don't know why I didn't make a well-made dungeon. I don't know. This AI is really smart. I mean, just how good it's a job it's doing actually. Let's look at the camera.
As Zachary is addressing the hopefully the potential overlord maybe monitoring his progress. Ivy, as you saw him kind of monologuing and walking around the room and kind of only giving the mirror a cursory glance other than to admire his hat and kind of fix the angle of it, without all the distractions that some of the others seem to be facing, you can tell from where you're standing that you're not exactly sure what it is. You'd need to have a closer look to find out more, but there definitely seems to be more to that mirror than what Zach gave it credit for. It's big, but aside from being big, it seems to be that there's more there than meets the eye, even though he kind of just brushed over it.
Well, I guess I'm gonna look at the mirror. Do the funny thing with Rathu where I show Rathu his own reflection real quick.
You hold Rathu up to the big 6-foot mirror, and he can see himself just finishing off the hamburger. Sniffs at the mirror a little bit curiously, bares his teeth slightly, but then just in a half comatose food coma, seems quite content. So can I get you? I've got your passive perception, but can I get you to do a? When you said you're going to take a closer look, where are you looking specifically?
Probably the backing of it, whether or not it can be moved, if it can be taken off of the wall, if it's one of those weird like swingy things, or like, you know, implanted into the wall?
Yep. Can you give me an investigation check, please? So that's a little bit over what you needed. So with your perception and also the attention to detail you just paid with your dark vision looking around, you notice that the mirror is not affixed to the wall. So what you could see from a distance that seemed a little bit off is that mirror had almost like a grayscale shadow to it, where there probably shouldn't have been one if it had been fixed to the wall properly. So investigating it closer and having a bit more of a look, you can see that there are clear grooves in the back, where you can easily, if you put your hands in the right place, fit your hands into. Being a little bit smaller than Zach, you can't quite reach all the way across, but on at least two sides of the mirror, you find that there are grooves where you can easily, with plenty of room, slide your hands into that mirror. So if you reach underneath as opposed to across, you like essentially, if we talk about like a 6 o'clock and a 3 o'clock position on a clock face, your hands can easily slide into grooves there.
Almost as easily as saying a name backwards on a mirror.
Time
What?
to cause property damage. Take it off the wall.
All right. First off, I just need to see what okay. So your passive strength isn't enough to do that. Can I get you to give me an athletics check, please?
Oh, come on.
16.
All right. So with that 16, just as hang on, what's your passive perception? Yeah, okay, you're all right. With the grip you've got on the mirror, you take a firm stance. You got one foot slightly pressed up against the wall for a little bit of extra traction, and just as you are about to start dragging on that mirror to see what happens and cause your property damage, you notice that there seems to be a really thin metal thread between the
Ooh.
mirror and the wall.
Oh god.
You hadn't noticed it initially, but now that you've gotten in position to move it just before you start moving it, you pick up on that wire. It's super thin. Without your dark vision or the close attention you paid, you may have missed it.
I feel like I should stop the property damage. But on the other hand, property damage. I will call Zach over.
All right. Zachary?
Yeah, it's a cool mirror, isn't it?
Are you going back over?
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Magic Man, I will point out
That's
to
me.
you that it is not just a mirror, much like many of your Earth World magic tricks. There is a wire.
It's very specific.
It's why. Well, I didn't see that before. I looked very closely.
Being a magic man such as yourself, if you were to set up, I don't know, a magic trick with mirrors and wire, what might you think this would do if I were to pull it?
To pull it, a magic trick. Mirrors and wire. I don't know. You could do lots of things with mirrors. You can make like illusions, so it makes you look like you're flying. Actually, you can. I don't know. You can. Mirror
Zach,
and I don't
What?
know. Pull it and find out.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Pull it and find out.
Ivy?
That's what she said.
Well, I mean, if you'd like to pull it and find out, you can definitely do so.
Uh-huh.
I am not a magic
Oh,
man,
I
so
I can't see the wire because I have the dumbs. And yeah, if you point it out to me, I'll probably All right. Pull on it.
All right. Can you give me a strength? So it'd be athletics check for me, please, because your strength
Oh,
is
come on.
definitely not enough to accomplish this on its own.
14.
14. You put your hands on either side of the mirror, fumbling around a little bit. Because Ivy didn't tell you they were there, but you saw how she was gripping the mirror as you came over, but peering with your rapier, and saw the hands come out of the side and the bottom. With both feet firmly planted, you've got the strongest grip you can get, and you feel that there's this slightest bit of give in the mirror as it comes away and out of the wall, and you move it just far enough for the wire to break. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Uh-oh.
Not 20.
Serious? Well,
Did you
you
say that
succeed.
20?
You succeed in your saving
Nope.
throw, and where you would have taken 5 points of electrical damage, you notice just in time that the when the wire snapped, in the darkness that you're becoming so accustomed to, you catch the glint of this blue electric spark as the wire snaps, and just before it gets around the outside of the mirror and hits your hands, you shove yourself unceremoniously back onto the floor, onto your back, avoiding with a nat 20 any damage at all. The wire is snapped, the mirror is slightly dislodged from the wall, and Zach's currently prone.
There's no way we
Well,
could have seen that coming.
while you guys are sorting yourselves out, Team Corridor, where are
Team
you up to? So you've successfully navigated past your vague recollections of where one of the arrow traps were, and you know there's
Yes.
another couple around 5 and 10 feet.
We are going to proceed to spam fire trash in several directions around the hallway, as not to be obvious that we're triggering stuff around, but just trying to keep up the ruse.
All right. I'm going to give you, in terms of your intelligence level and concocting
Like
this
you
plan,
questioning your
I'm
smarts.
going to say that you throw carefully crafted 10 more trash bombs around. So
What?
mark that off with that's now 55 pounds that has been used. And there is now these sticky bombs of just shit that Alia has collected and mashed together through all of the different adventures you've had so far, and the bits she's picked up and poured into her pack. Then they're on the ceiling, they're on the walls, they're on the floor. But in doing that, you set off another 2 of these arrow traps, and so at the same time as Zachary is looking up at Ivy, wondering how they possibly could have seen the electrical spark coming that sparked around the mirror, you guys are setting off 2 sets of arrow traps. So simultaneously, there's this electrical burst, there's shattering of wood and metal on stone, and when the dust clears, we've got Zach on the ground, and you two have seen 3 arrow traps set off. And Fokionis, from your intelligence roll, you're pretty sure that that was everything that was in here.
Okay, cool. What say we head down towards that shiny red button?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So the 2 of you, super confident, not a worry in the world, and fortunately for you, you have actually set off all of the traps. Stride down, raccoon under your arm, and there is a stainless steel platform that has a really oversized, almost toy, glowing red button at the top of the pedestal. The pedestal itself is around 4 foot tall, so if Ali's on the ground, she could reach up and hit it, but she won't be able to see it with her head height, or she can definitely reach it from underneath Fokionis's armpit. what would you like to do?
I'm gonna press the button.
Without another thought, Alia smacks that red button, and the corridor itself remains the way it currently is, but directly above that platform. So there's just a 5-foot blast of bright white light, and down from the ceiling, just with on a key is coming down from that light, and it has wings almost like a Achilles with the wings on his heel. The key, or a snitch from a
Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter
shit.
reference. Yep. So the key is just gently fluttering down on those wings. It's a big ornate silver key. Like it's bigger than your fist, Alia, if you were to reach out and grab it, and it's got a very intricate pattern on the end of that key, for whatever lock that it goes into. And on the head of the key, where it would normally be like an empty loop to go onto a key ring, it's actually a solid silver circle, and it has an image of a wren engraved onto it. And it's just fluttering on those wings directly in front of your face underneath Fokionus's armpit.
That's it.
That's all right.
Yeah,
So
just
I
reach
just
out. It
take her out
doesn't.
my armpit and just hold her up towards it.
So definitely reaching out, expecting it to like dart away like some of the movies you'd seen crashing on Ivy's couch. The key doesn't resist. It just as soon as your hands grab around it, though, the wings retract as if they were never there, and you have a silver key,
I got a key.
an ornate
I
silver
got a
key.
key.
Hey, we got a key.
And
did
He
you-
got a key.
And as you guys are looking at that, the light cuts out, and the platform, as soon as the light ends, just disappears into the floor as if it was never there.
What?
Corridor is now empty.
Okay.
Ali, you'll plunge back into darkness with a 5-foot radius on your torch, and Pokionus you can still see.
I can still see 30 feet, which is.
And where are
God
you?
damn it.
What are
Right,
you guys
we
looking to do next?
Just
Before I head back
retreat
to the
from
other
the
group.
hallway.
So ouchies go. All right. While all that's happening, you guys aren't there just yet. We're pretending you're there. Ivy and
course.
Zachary. You've established the grooves. The wire is snapped. The electrical charge discharged, and Zachary managed to avoid any harm.
Ivy just had said before that she would be back in a sec, so
Oh, okay.
I think.
No
So if
worries.
she doesn't respond, then that's why.
No
Right.
worries. I'm sorry that I
Oh,
missed
Magic
that.
Man here, like he's fixing to get his hands blown off.
Well, then let's to move this along. So as you guys come out, yeah, Ali, you get to a point where you can kind of see Ivy, like just right at the end of your torchlight, because you're still underneath Fokionus's arm at this stage. Fokionus, you can see.
Come on, I put it
Quite
down
comfy
already.
here.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see. You can see
You carry
that
that, I carry the
Zach
racoon.
is flat on his back on the ground, and Ivy is currently just tending to and soothing a rather upset Rathu from whatever has just happened. His hair is standing up like he's touched one of those where Galvatrons, the static electricity machines. His hair is just up and puffed out,
Okay.
So is
and
Zachary
Zachary's on the ground.
like knocked out or
No, he's only on the ground. Well, you guys didn't see it, but he is
he's
just
winded?
no, he's just on laying on the ground as far as you guys can tell. Fokionus, you saw the coming out of the doorway, the blue charge of electricity around the mirror, and Zachary go flying backwards. Alia, you couldn't see any of that.
What happened to the mirror? Did it just sort of fall on the ground? Did it break?
It's still on the wall. It's slightly dislodged
Right,
from the
okay.
wall from Zachary's efforts. So there's now where before it took Ivy finding some grooves where she could put her hands into. There's now quite clearly around a 3 centimeter gap between the mirror and the wall that you can see from how close you are at the moment.
Can you like see behind it now? If I like shove my thingy in.
Yeah, so if you get up off the ground and put your rapier behind it, you definitely have enough space to fit that rapier blade, and you don't need any special perception roll to see that there appears to be a large cylindrical circular metal piece attached to the back of the mirror that is going into that wall. So you can see about 3 to 4 centimeters of that, and it's around a foot in diameter, so around 30 centimeters. It's a big, solid, round circle in the center of the mirror at the back.
And that's what's connecting it to the wall.
As best you can. What's your? Yes, as best you can tell, with the limited view you've got. If you want to investigate it further, you can. Got something specific you want to discern? Let me know, and we'll figure out the role.
Is the mirror like easier to move now?
Do you want to try and figure that out, or do you just want to try and move it?
So I'm trying to move, like.
Yep, brace yourself up again and give me another strength check. An athletics, sorry.
I'm not. Okay.
Didn't you say that's what you want to do? You just want to try and move it? Did I mishear you?
No, like not move it like very far, but like if it can change angles.
Oh, you're just looking to feel if it's got any give.
Yeah, any give. Yeah.
No, there's no give there with like the push and the nudge and the trying to move your sword and see if it's maybe loosened and sliding out on a runner or something like that. No, it's still firmly in place, but it's now got a gap that you can see behind. And for the rest of you, you're looking at Zach still hasn't said anything. He just pushed him, got up, dusted himself off, and stuck his rapier behind the mirror.
I can't see shit, so I don't know what he's doing at all.
No, you don't. Good point.
I'm just pretty cozy under this armpit right now.
I mean, you're just playing with the key anyway, aren't you?
Yep.
All right, so everyone just seems to be the ones who can see you are just watching you, Zach. So what would you like to do?
Just keep going like around the rubble and keep looking at the rest of the room, I guess.
Okay. So where would you like to head?
Towards the rubble, and I just like go around it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
No.
Like what are you doing here?
No, I just because I can only see 20 feet. I want to see what's up like the other end of the room.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're heading to. Okay, so I'll give you that. For some of for Alia, I still haven't seen what you were doing. You just heard Zach scratching around and then the silence. So as you're heading to look, I'll give you your 25 feet. What do you say? You got 20 feet. So as you come up towards the far end of the room, and then I'll come back to the rest of the group and you can decide what else you wish to investigate. Looking to see what else is here, you can see that there's another mirror that seems to be directly opposite the one that you just set off the electricity on, and there is just an inky, like a solid blackness at the end of the room that is very reminiscent to you of like what you saw around the world between, and what you experienced in the void that was in your dream. It's a kind of part of this experience that you're now becoming all too familiar with. So it is, even though on the map you remember well enough that there's definitely a way out of this room, and this wasn't marked on that map, but there is just that solid wall of inky blackness next to the mirror, blocking any current where you've explored, any current means of exit. So I'm going to leave you to look at that. The rest of you've just seen Zachary sort of scratch around at the back of the mirror, and he was able to fit his sword behind it. What would you guys like to do? And Alia hasn't seen any of that. She's just under Pocahontas' armpit at the moment.
Did you say there were pits?
Yep. Yeah, so you and Pocahontas have definitely noticed that there are circular holes on this side of that mirror. You
I
can't
thought they were
quite see
columns
that
because
far
they've got
side.
shadows.
No, that's just the way the map look, sorry, because it would have a fog of war on it, but I've left it open because you've seen the map, and also dark
All good.
vision. No, they are holes. Is the
Gotcha.
description. So they are 2 holes that you can see evenly spaced out on either side of that central mirror. You guys are
I
close enough. Yep. Sorry, Ivy.
I would like to pick up some of the rubble and just kind of drop it in one of them.
Ooh.
There's
And
plenty
try
of it
and count the
around.
seconds.
Oh, you're looking to get a bead on. Can you give me
Sonar.
that's a really specific thing you're looking for. Can you give me a perception check,
I'll gladly
please?
do a perception check. How does an 18 sound?
Yeah, that sounds
Perception's
good.
wisdom, it's a +5.
Yes, I know you can spy on that one. I saw it with your animal handling. God damn, that's high. So just picking up, thinking about what you can see, and just feeling the slightly raised part of that hole. It seems metallic in nature, so you find something that you can't see perfectly with the dark vision, but a small piece of what looks like it could have been out of a a metal rod or some shrapnel, or it could even be from a destroyed arrowhead. Dropping that down, you can hear it sort of bouncing side to side. The hole itself is a little bit more, slightly more than around 30 centimeters, so around a foot across the circle. And you hear those couple of tinks as it hits the side. And by the time it hits the bottom, it's doesn't sound like it's a super deep hole. It sounds like it is somewhere around between 9 and 12 feet in depth.
I want to drop more things down the hole.
Oh, you drop more things down the hole, and it still sounds like it's around that deep.
Hey guys, do you have anything fun to drop down the hole?
You inkling for more trash.
I'll take trash, coins, valuables. I mean, if you want, I can probably try and put you down the hole.
We've got a slightly used magician.
You can have my 15 pounds of metal.
What? You're giving away your trash?
All right, so
I
you
gave away
can't
metal, not my trash.
you can't currently see where Ivy is. So Fokionis, would you like to carry Alia over?
I would love nothing more.
All right, so Fokionis hand delivers Alia over to you, Ivy, where you receive 15 pounds of various bits of metal of different sizes, not all of which will fit down the hole.
Can I make them fit down the hole?
Without blacksmithing tools and a significant amount of time, you can fit the bits and pieces around 10 pounds of that metal. There's a few pieces there that are just a little bit
I feel
too
like I could
big.
melt it with sacred flame.
You can certainly try. Would you like to set yourself up with the I can set you up to give it a go if you want.
I want to bend and melt the metal so that it fits down the hole.
All right, so 10 pounds is already down it, and picking up a piece of what looks like it was once like a concave part of a shield, so just it won't buckle and get down into the hole, and you pile up the other bits and pieces that just don't quite fit into that, cylindrical circle in front of you. Um, hit me, hit a sacred flame on the onto that that
It
impromptu
needs to
bowl of
make a
metal.
dex saving throw.
Dex saving throw.
Before you
All
like
right.
to cheat up, I
I'm
might move
going
back a
to
step.
do the whole making a dex saving throw. No problem at all. It's a plus nothing, so alright. It rolled a 7.
It fails its dex saving throw,
Uh-oh.
which gives us a 5 on the damage for sacred flame.
with the damaged nature of the metal that you currently have there, I'm going to give you that 5 damage is enough to just complete the destruction of it. It's already you've been bashing at it. It's damage from whatever has happened to it in its construction or its use that has led it to its current state. It slowly appears like nothing's happening, and then the central bit gets hot and hotter, and then the bottom just drops out of the shield and the rest just crumples in. With the scorching heat you're putting onto it, you can't really tell anything perception wise about the depth, but the molten metal has disappeared down into that hole.
I melted metal and it went in the hole.
Hole fill up. Up to the top.
So you can make it erupt back out.
Oi!
I feel like we can
Volcano.
put more into the hole.
What would
We've
you
noticed
like
more
to
than one
try
hole.
next?
I
Tell me what you
mean,
want to do.
anyone got any more things to put in the hole?
Are we just gonna fill up every hole we find?
I figured I'd fill up one and see if it does anything.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure there's like a smart solution, but as everyone knows, you can brute force everything.
So are you going to try and scout around to find
I will
more
start
things
putting
to
all of the rubble into the hole.
okay.
Not only am I cleaning, I'm also filling the hole.
As you scout around, is anyone helping Ivy with this, or are you
I'm
just
watching
watching
this.
as she?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I can only watch because I am in an armpit.
This is
And
true.
you can only see bits and pieces of it. So as Fokionis describes to you what Ivy's doing, I'm going to
getting
leave
a
you be for a
story.
little bit, Ivy, as you pick up anything that is
Oh,
under
what's this
essentially 30
for?
centimeters, or
Wow.
that you can break and fit into a form that fits down the hole. You head down to the corridor and like sweep up into your cloak as much of the arrow debris as what you can. I'm going to leave you with that for the moment. So Zachary, you're down at the end with the inky blackness, and you found another mirror. It appears identical. Slightly different angle to the one you saw before is about all you can tell without closer investigation, and the inky blackness that is blocking this end of the chamber.
Okay. Just so the blackness is like solid, I can't. If I poke my rapier at it, it goes like tink. Or
You poke your rapier and it just meets it. No noise. Just
no
complete
noise,
resistance. No give. It just stops.
Alright. Yeah. Look at the sort of the south side of the room now. I guess.
All right. So you're heading around, basically, tracking a circuit back. If the room Yep.
Yeah.
So
like,
heading
just-
around.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I'm just going around having a look at.
We can see what
Quick-
he's doing.
quick
But he
look
can't
at
really see us, can he?
You and Ivy can.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see how far he is.
Well, like, if I'm
No, he's currently out
holding
of
a
sight.
light, he should be able to like see me. Technically.
Once you pass a certain distance in this gloom, it seems to be affecting. But yeah, you got actually no, because you got the 20 feet. Yep, it does let you see a bit better. Apologies. Yes, you're right. So as you circuit around, yes, you guys can see sometimes indistinctly, because he does get a little bit far out of your visible range with his glow. But you see Zach's kind of glowing rapier poking around the outskirts of the room. Zach, you find that there's another mirror down to the bottom. Again, it seems to be in an almost identical spot to the one you saw right next to the door that Alia licked into submission. There's a few little bits of like tangled debris and rope, but nothing appears too useful at the base of that mirror. And as you come around, again, you're largely seeing it's largely a clear room. There is some debris, but some of it looks like there's scuff marks on the floor, like it's been reasonably recently picked up. And you loop around, seeing the fourth mirror, and you can also now see just at the edge of your glow your group. So is there anything you'd like to look at more closely as you're doing your circuit?
The mirror in the middle of the room. Can I like have a closer look at that one?
Yeah, you can. As you walked around too, your passive is high enough that you did see that there were 4 circles. So you saw 2 of them recessed into the floor. You've seen now all 4 of them that are evenly spaced around this central mirror, and your intelligence is high enough to see that they look like a really similar size to that metal that you saw sticking into the wall behind the mirror.
No, but one's like a foot wide and one's like 30 centimeters. Wait.
The floor ones are slightly more than a foot or 30 centimeters. The one behind the mirror is around a foot or 30 centimeters, as you well know, smartass. All right, so you've arrived at the central mirror.
He just like that all the time in class.
Yep. Nothing's changed in that regard. As Zachary comes to the center mirror and is poking around at it, Ivy, you finally, after everyone just sitting and watching you, apart from Rathu, who's occasionally paying attention to what you're doing, but he's calmed down after his hair popping out like an electric ball from Zachary pulling the mirror partially off the wall. The hole does fill up, and just as it gets to the top, you hear what starts as a gentle hum and then a grinding noise, and the contents of the hole just steadily drops and disappears.
So
Oh no!
I don't think we can fill the hole. But if you need a disposal area, can I please recommend the hole?
That's the toilet. Yes. Ideas, Ivy.
All right. Zachary, what would you like to do with this? You can see this center mirror. You've got a little bit more visibility because, like the other mirrors, it does give you a little bit more light with the reflection from your rapier, but nothing extreme. And the mirror in the middle.
So right, the other mirrors, right, they're attached to the wall, and we had to sort of grab the handles to pull it out a bit, and they're like hard to pull out, but they're attached to the wall with a long pole, right? How is this one attached to the? Is it like in the floor, or is it like on a stand?
Give me an investigation check. Same deal as before. Investigation disadvantage. Great questions.
I feel like I'd be able to tell this just by looking at it, but alright. 12.
So with what you've seen at the back of the mirror, this mirror is fixed in place. So it's got something. It resembles concrete. When you tap it, it feels harder than concrete in the actual floor itself. So it doesn't appear to be removable. But you can definitely see that there is a section going from the floor to the mirror that looks, as best you can tell with the limited visibility you had poking around behind the mirror, that it looks like the same sort of pole that is behind the one that you managed to dislodge a little bit from the wall. However, this one is fixed in place. And what did you say you got? And you did roll high enough that you notice that this one is, whereas the others are kind of angled because the walls are angled, this one is pointing directly east-west. So straight ahead where you are currently standing, it appears that you are looking straight at that mirror and you're again seeing your rakish reflection and adjusting your hat.
Okay. So, hey guys. I think looking behind this mirror here that's next to you guys, right? It's attached to the wall with like a long sort of cylinder, right? So maybe like that cylinder will fit in these holes.
What, like this
Like-
one that we just filled up with shit?
Yeah, like that one.
Oh,
So you have to go into that hole, get the shit out, so we can put the
it's like liquid metal, bro.
blow on it first. No, like give us a hand. Let's try to pull the mirror out for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I do this one-handed still holding a raccoon?
You can
Am I strong
try.
enough? What do you mean I can try? Come on.
No, you can roll for it to try and do it one-handed, or you can put the raccoon down and you are strong enough to do it with two hands.
Regretfully place my
Wait.
raccoon-shaped companion down.
I will swoop in and pick her back up.
Oh, so now Rathew's on one arm and Alia on the other. This
Oh, that's my armpit warmer. What are you doing?
Keeping it warm.
Okay, I'll be back.
You gotta.
all
Yeah.
right.
So it's like me and
Yeah.
So we're
let's
both
do it.
pulling on it.
Let's pick this shit up.
So,
Just
sorry,
to be
did
clear,
you say
which hole are we
you've gone
going
over to Fokionis? You're talking to him from the central mirror, Zachary. Where are
Yes.
you at the
No,
moment?
I've gone over to the first mirror that nearly zapped me.
Yep.
And I've asked Fokionis to come over and like
I
help
thought
me
there
like
we could
pull
do
it
Marco
out.
Polo.
Well, he's put Alia down. Ivy swept her up, and as you like before you've even finished your instruction, he's grabbed that mirror on both sides that gave you so much trouble and just seemingly effortlessly slid it out of the wall. And he keeps on stepping back and stepping back and stepping back to where, with a heavy thunk, the pole that was behind it tilts down, hitting the floor, and there appears to be around 12 feet of metal protruding from where the mirror was attached to the wall. It has just kept on coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, almost like a magician's trick with a set of handkerchiefs up his sleeve.
Nothing up the sleeve.
And Fokionis is currently effortlessly holding the mirror, but the pole appears to be hinged, so it has tilted down and hit the floor. Nothing broke. It just appears to have a hinge now that it's removed from the wall.
Zach, bro, you grab that pole. Not the first time someone said that to him, I'm sure. And move it over here.
I'll like go around and lift the other end of the pole so it's easier to move, and then we'll move it over to the hole.
Just grabbing the pole, your strength is enough to handle that side of it. So which hole are you heading towards?
The one that just destroyed all racist trash.
Yeah. All right. So
Barley
essentially we've got you'd probably be there and there with one of you with the pole. So yep, so you're over there, you're next to it. Zach, you've got the pole. Ivy, Alia, and Rathew, are you guys currently doing anything other than watching what you can see? Because Alia is now staring at Rathew and can't see much else. Still holding a flaming torch that's making Rathew a bit uncomfortable.
Good.
I will do some commentary for Alia.
Okay.
He's picking up the mirror, he's doing it effortlessly, he's moving it further and further towards the desired location. It seems not at all a struggle for the big, tough man.
Now he's taking his shirt off. Now
He
he's
never
putting
had a
oil
shirt
on
to
himself.
begin with. Why is there a glistening to his skin?
Oh dear.
Small heritage.
All right. With Fokionis on the heavy end of this mirror, and Zachary guiding it. You said you're putting the pole end into the hole in the floor, didn't you?
Yes.
So you're sliding it into that one that's in the top left. You notice as you're putting it in that you have to move it a few times because there's notches and grooves that mean that, especially one big central groove, that the mirror and the pole will only go in one way. So once you get that lined up, and Poccionus just keeps walking forward, walking his hands up the metal pole, it then slides effortlessly into place. You can all hear an audible hum that goes for about 2 seconds and then stops, and nothing else happens. But the
What sort of
mirror,
hum? Oh, DM. Give us a audible on that.
like a 2-second.
Worst ASMR ever.
Never claimed to be a good ASMR. Not my cup of tea. So you've got that one fixed in place. Now, as you've moved into position and kind of had to adjust where you're standing to get that mirror in place. Like congratulating each other, happy with a job well done. Hearing Ivy commentating your efforts and describing Poccionus' glistening muscles, which make you try to surreptitiously flex a little bit more as you're putting that mirror into position. You hear a soft whoosh, and a net from the roof descends, covering both Zachary and Poccionus.
Oh, come on,
that's
bro.
where we're going to end tonight.
Surely I'll slip out from under the net on account of being greased up.
The Mets wonders with the nets as it accentuates his muscles as it gets caught.
Are they fishnets?
No, it's like acting as a harness. Imagining you like, oof.
And we will deal with the roles for that next week, with a net descending from the ceiling and covering Zachary and Poccionus.
But I know Annette, and she would never be on the ceiling.
Well, you can investigate that further next Monday night.
Damn it!
I can't believe you guys spent so long fucking around with that hole in the floor.
Really? I mean, you're part of this group. I mean,
that was so good.
But
the world's at stake, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna see what I'm gonna see what shit I can put in this hole. It was so
Look, based
good.
on what we saw earlier, there's not much of the world left. So if I have a hole to use to bring me a brief moment of happiness, I'm gonna use it.
It was so good. It was so perfect and on brand.
True.
So we've got Alia and Rathu jealously on either hip or arm of Ivy. Ivy commentating on Poccionus's glistening form in her dark vision. And Zachary using every ounce of strength that he's got to guide this mirror into place, to have a net descend from above. All right, that's a spot to finish.
Okay.
We'll see all you lovely people next week. Stay tuned to YouTube for the what happens next.
Boy.
So you licked a wall into submission.
I don't know if you saw that image.
No, I have so many things that I'm trying to juggle across the two.
Which one?
I didn't.
The wall licker.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
That one.
I'm tossing up between whether the video title is "I'd like to lick the wall" or "I want to fill the hole."
I mean, and then when we thought there was a trap coming, I had that up on screen as well.
Maybe I'll combine the two and it'll be licking walls and filling holes. Let's see. See how we go.
I mean, you could condense it a bit more and go just licking and filling.
True. I
True.
was finding it hard to stay focused when the greased up barbarian was like trying to manhandle the pole into the hole with assistance. I'm like, will you please use other words? Nope. Yeah, it slides in. It's like, just you stop.
I had to. I
Trying
even toned it down to like, no, I'm going to give this a break here, and he's walking up and just managing the direction of it and the angle, and I changed some of the wording at that point.
I was like, oh my god.
And it was a mighty big pole that you were handling into place with Zachary's assistance.
Oh dear.
You seem to get one in. Trying to work out how to say it now without the double entendres.
One relocated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
dear.
bring on next week.
Okay.
I had some ideas of like where you guys might take this. Man, some of those rolls.
You probably thought it was more than 20 feet from the doorway that we started in.
I really did think. Well, Zachary managed to get further than 20 feet from the door, but no.
But he came back.
You guys did, I guess, because you went down the
20 feet.
hallway.
This is true. This is true. We also came back, though.
I just, being able to see 20 feet made me a lot less scared of the rest of the room.
I am sorry. I did write down the difference between the torch and the rapier, but like the light spell, but I didn't look at that before it started. And then as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh shit, that's right. So it was half what it was meant to be, but the torch was 510 and you were meant to be 1020, and the others were 60 down to 30.
Oh well, Ivy got to scare me, and that was hilarious.
I tell you what, I was wondering where that was going to go. If you'd managed to connect with Rathu, because he's pretty squishy. Holy shit.
If you just yeeted Matt Rathu over to the wall and like,
Oh, I was just thinking, what happens if he kills Rathu?
Walking down the hallway blindly.
Then Ivy would kill Zach. That's just how
Please
it
do,
goes.
Could Ivy kill
hole,
Zach?
Don't worry about it.
Real questions.
Life's big ponderings and conundrums. But look, you managed to navigate. Thankfully for Fokionus's sake, he went in the bathroom twice and looked at the map twice, because that could have gone really badly. Walking into the 3 arrow traps that you should have known. The roll, I know, but that you should have known was there.
Look, I just say thank God that the bedroll didn't cop it, because it would have got skewered.
Well, I forgot to. There's still a bedroll leaning up against the little spoon bedroll is still leaning up against the mirror as well.
Spoon bedroll, yes.
Oh dear.
So good.
Oh, I'm gonna head to bed now.
Yeah, me too. That was really good. I look forward to seeing where we get to next week before I then have a
judging
work
by the
week.
size of this dungeon, it should take us about 3 months to get through.
It depends if you try and fill every hole you find.
Well, apparently that was the go.
All right.
Ivy just likes filling holes.
Yep, and she's got to be true to herself. All right.
Good night.
See ya.
Peace out.
Everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you.